Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we have taken slashes, we have taken cerebrals, and we made them coexist in one PvP team. Yes, we are running a dual cerebral slasher based build with the new Law and Beppo SugoFest exclusive. Now, if you guys saw my Grand Party fights on day 2, you guys would have already seen this particular team. But Lord Beppo opened the door to a very interesting team build that involves using 6 slasher characters and 6 cerebral characters to maximize their special. Now, you don't have to do that. You can run them on a cerebral-based team and then they do damage, or you could run them on a slasher-based team and they could do some healing. Now, if I get some time, I will try and put together a little bit of a showcase with them on the slasher team. I did use them on the slasher team for my Grand Party showcase of them. They didn't really flourish all that well, to be honest. Slashers, they just have so many better options. But on the cerebral team, they could probably do some stuff. But I thought this would be a little bit more fun, to do a bit more of a funky team build for you guys. Throw together a bunch of different characters and sort of rock and roll it this way. Now, the upside to the team is everyone actually gets boosted in some way in the front lines. We have Law, Beppo, Carrot Wonder, Redhead Pirates, which are all cerebral slasher characters, and then we have on the bench, who's another cerebral slasher. So right there, we have 4 of the requirements for both parts of the Beppo Law special, and then we have the rest of the team being either 2 slashers in S-Hawk and Brogy. You can swap that out for like Shiki or Dory or Brooke, anyone like that. And then we have the CP0 unit, the 20 cost unit, which is a cerebral character on the bench to satisfy that last cerebral spot, as well as Atlas. Now, Atlas came out and kind of blew everyone away with how good she is in PvP, so I really wanted to include her on this team as well. And with Atlas, you need 5 int characters, so bringing 5 int characters, 6 cerebrals, and 6 slashers on the same team does seem like a lot of work, and honestly, it is, but if you can put it together quite nicely, it actually works really, really well. And a big upside to the team is we can run S-Hawk. So here we have a lot of damage output going through defense with both Atlas and S-Hawk, clearing out units. We have a lot of healing with stuff like Carrot Wanda, Lord Beppo, and then we also have a lot of bulk with Shank's crew. The downside to this team is obviously it is very, very slow. So building up to this particular point can be a bit of a struggle when you are versing stuff like Strength Luffy, when you're versing stuff like Roger Whitebeard or S-Hawk alike. You are probably going to get decimated very, very quickly. And once you sort of get towards the back end of your team, once like Brogy comes in, you're kind of in for like a real rough time. So if you have a lot of characters that bypass defense, Kuma, Kid, those types of characters, this team will definitely struggle, as most cerebral teams will definitely will. However, if you make it to the 70-second mark and get the passive of Shank's crew to pop off, as well as the Shank's crew special to go, you're going to give yourself a lot of bulk. And if the enemy doesn't have characters that go through defense, that can take out the pieces of your puzzle very quickly, you are going to be in for a really good time. So going up against stuff like Driven, going up against stuff like Shooters and Dex, and even stuff like Quick with the special rollback, you could definitely bring this type of team and have a lot of success. It's not the best team in the game. Like, this showcase is not to say, wow, look at this team, look how powerful this team is, this is one of the best teams in the game. This is more of just a fun PvP showcase to showcase what Law Beppo can do on both teams. I thought this was a really nice way to sort of hit both nails on the head without sort of drowning on about the unit for too long. So, what does the unit do? Cerebral slasher teammates get level 5 attack, level 5 HP, and level 5 recovery, and then also get level 3 defense. Now, if you are a cerebral slasher, you don't get both of these. It's literally just one. It's cerebral or slasher units, not cerebral and cerebral or. So everyone on this team is getting the passive of Lord Beppo being the level 5 attack, level 5 HP, level 5 recovery, and the increased defense at level 3. Very nice stuff. Now, with their special, this is where all of the restrictions come into play. You target 2 teammates with low HP for 1,000 healing per interval for 30 seconds. And then when you have 6 cerebral characters on the team, target enemies in a large range for 4 times their attack in damage. Now, this is a lot of damage, but obviously if you're going up against stuff with a lot of defense, if you've been half stats or anything like that, you are going to be in for a really, really rough time, and the damage is not really going to correlate. Obviously, characters that don't bypass defensive effects, they do struggle compared to characters that do. If you decide to look at how much damage Atlas is doing and how much damage S-Hawk is doing compared to something like Lord Beppo, it is a bit chalk and cheese because defensive stats obviously are going to hinder that 4 times. Nevertheless, though, 4 times is a real chunky stat. Like, it's a very, very good number, and you can do a lot of damage output with this particular character. And that's why I think they work a little bit better on the Cerebral team, because the Cerebral team, it needs a little bit more damage. They provide a lot of bulk with their HP buff and their defense buff, which is really nice. Plus, they give a little bit of healing regardless, whether you are running 6 slashes or not. However, if you have 6 slashes on the team, you target your entire team for 4 times recovery. Now, this recovery is really, really nice, especially with this type of build that is relying on making it to the 70-second mark. You're going to take a bit of damage in that first 30 seconds. Stuff like HP cuts of stuff like a Kainu, Jack, those types of characters pop off very quickly, and this healing ability can definitely save your ass later down the line. Downside to stuff like Cerebrals are they do struggle with CD reducers. Slashers don't have that same issue. However, with the Slasher team, you kind of want to bank on the damage. So I feel like if Lord Beppo was the other way around, if the healing was for Cerebrals and the damage was for Slashers, they'd probably just be a better overall unit. In saying that, though, I do think that Cerebrals need more help than what Slashers need. So having this damage output for Cerebral characters is a little bit nicer. Now, if you can actually get the piece of the puzzle to work, later down the line, if we get another Cerebral Slasher, like if we say we get another Shanks in the future, that's like a Cerebral Slasher character, you could easily sub him in over Shank's crew, where you might get, I don't know, another... Anywhere down the line, we could receive a Cerebral Slasher character, and that could bolster this team, or bolster Lord Beppo a little bit more. Cerebrals have been getting a lot of buffs lately, and it has become very diverse with team building in PvP with Cerebral characters. Most of them have sort of congregated towards the int typing with all of the Vegapunk characters, with stuff like V2 Shanks, with stuff like 6+ Bonnie. Those types of characters can build very nice Cerebral teams, but the OG Cerebral team was always very centric around dual units, being stuff like Shanks Crew, Carrot Wanda, Neko Inu, Robin Koala, those types of characters, Black Maria Ulti. So Lord Beppo can definitely find a home over here on a Cerebral team. But the real upside to this particular team, and what makes it even a little bit formidable within the meta, is the fact that we have S-Hawk on the team. Gear 5, Anniversary Luffy Strength, and S-Hawk. I said in my Grand Party video today for Kid Killer, any team that can run S-Hawk or these other 2 Gear 5s, preferably Strength Gear 5 and S-Hawk, any 2 teams that can fit this unit on the team is already going to be better for it. And having S-Hawk in the front lines is actually giving the entire team a buff, because we're running 4 Slashers in the front line, and then Atlas is an int character, so Atlas actually gets the int-based buffs that S-Hawk provides. Atlas is also buffing int characters, so Atlas is giving a very small buff to S-Hawk as well. Then your other 3 Cerebral Slashers, they're buffing the entire team because they're both buffing Cerebrals and Slasher characters. So you're getting a really nice array of benefits from all frontline characters, even though the synergy isn't perfect. This team is very reminiscent of the Striker team, and in my opinion, it can kind of sit in that kind of echelons of where Strikers sit right now, because you have very good damage output with S-Hawk, you have very good damage output with Atlas, you have great tanking abilities, and you have really good healing with Lord Beppo, Carrot Wanda as well. The downside is if you have another team that goes very, very quickly, that can get you, that can pick you off within that first 30 seconds, you are going to be in for a pretty rough time. And stereotypically, those teams are going to look like Strength with Kuma, Luffy, Kobe, Kid, in the front lines, those types of characters that can bypass defense, going up against stuff like Slashers that are running both Roger and Whitebeard and S-Hawk, because it's very hard to stop both of them. Going up against, yeah, that's probably about it, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's probably about it. But going up against stuff like Dex and sort of like the more bulky teams, and you can pretty much out-bulk them in the sense that once you hit that 70-second mark, you're going to be in for a really good time. Once you see Shanks Crew's special go off, just like that, you get a level 5 defense buff, a level 5 attack buff. Once you hit the 70-second mark right here, you're going to see a whole bunch of attack, a whole bunch of defense come through. And even after taking the shot from Who's Who, we're still sitting comfortably at 19 defense. Now, big downside to the team, obviously, is there's no cooldown reduction. Atlas can give herself cooldown reduction as she does damage, which does work nicer as we are moving into the later stages of the fight. But once you kind of hit, like I said, that 70 to 60 second mark, and the enemy hasn't really done too much damage to you, you can really safely put yourself in a position where you will stereotypically get the win. But PvP is in a very nice spot right now where one team kind of just doesn't decimate everything. Like, Slashers are pretty close to being that particular team. Free Spirit definitely make an argument, and so does Strength. But even still, there's always counters to something, and some teams are definitely going to struggle against others within the meta. And just like every other team, there is a hole to this particular build, where if you do fight those teams that go very quickly in the first 30 seconds, you are going to be in for a rough time. However, it was a very, very fun team to use. I've had a lot of fun using it in Grand Party. It had a lot of success over there with the extra buffs and stuff like that with this particular season. And in PvP, if you're just looking for a fun team to sort of throw around and try some different stuff with, this particular team is just, it's very fun to use. So if you have the pieces of the puzzle later down the line or here and there, give it a whirl, because it's really fun. And hopefully you guys enjoyed watching it, because it was really, 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 really fun team. Like, it's just a really, really fun team. But if you did enjoy it, make sure to go down there, belt the like button for me, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. Let me know in the comment section below as well what you guys think of Lord Beppo in PvP. Do you think that would work better on a Cerebral team, or do you think they would work better on a Slash team? Let me know down below. And hopefully I can get around to sort of doing some more stuff with this character in PvP, showcasing them on those respective teams to you guys, just so you guys can get a better understanding of how they rock, how they roll, and what to look forward to in the future. But that's going to wrap it up from me. Like I said, thank you all for watching. Best of luck in Grand Party if you guys are still playing that, and I'll see you when I'm back from Japan.